Okay, call this meeting to order because the chairman's not in, we're not here, so I don't know if he's going to show up and what, so we'll start. He shows up, we'll give it to him. Have roll call. McElhaney, absent. And Jerome, here. Rocky?
Here.
Good. Let's see, reading and approval of the minutes from May 16th, 2019.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented. I read them.
Good, I'll second that, because I wrote them. And, yes, folks?
Yes.
Good. Oh, this is simple. Two people can't argue. Okay, discuss and discuss and review the proposed draft for the 9/1 Trust Authority from Assistant District Attorney Ashley Kendrick. I have one, and the original draft that we got, which she sent to me for review, I did a lot of editing in it because namely, we started out with the Nowata City-County Enhanced 911 Trust Authority is what she was going to label our trust authority as. And I felt that it should just be a Nowata County 911 Trust Authority instead of, because enhanced is the current version right now. 2 years from now, it's going to be next generation. So they're going to have an NG 911. So stay generic, 911, Trust Authority, and it's Nowata County. And the big catch-all was powers and duties of our trustees. Number one, to sue or to be sued.
Yeah, we didn't think they should do it.
And then I just got to figure out how to work that. To be sued as, I don't see being sued as a trust authority. Yes, but to be sued personally, you got to do willfully, you got to be wrong. So trust authority is going to maintain their own discipline, but there might be something that I'm missing. And we only get paid $1. $1 fee, one time. It's a one-time dollar fee that once the trust authority gets established, we get paid $1. And get paid $1 and get sued at the same time is not well. I just, my hair in the back went up. So, okay, we need to look at this real closely. She's currently working on the bylaws. She doesn't have any bylaws set up. So will have to be forthcoming too. And see, where I had an issue with is that the trustee shall ensure the financial documents and reports sufficient to demonstrate fiscal activity are to be filed with the city clerk of the city of Nowata and the county clerk of Nowata County. And I did not see that line item. So I said, okay.
Yeah, we read it and stuff. Why would the city clerk need it?
That's exactly. And I did some changing around because Burke's going to be he's from the committee, that service committee, and I put him in as to be the sheriff and Burke to be on the board, or the first board setup, or somebody that's designating. You can designate somebody if you want, but for openers, I'd like to see one county commissioner here. But anyway, I got a draft in and sent it back to her after 3 days looking at it, and so she's had it now for 3 days, and so I didn't check my email before I came, I didn't see anything new. But that's a work in process, and then I was doing work on seeing some statutes online and where it says that the trusts are exempt from. So if she was going to be here, we would go through some of the stuff. But that's where we're at with looking at it. We're not ready to go to the county commissioners with this. It's just something that we're going to toss around back and forth. And I've sent Rocky a copy, and then I was gonna have one here for Mike, and Mike's not here. So that's where we're at there. So that was for, any questions?
Hopefully you'll have this figured out within the next 2 weeks possibly, or
I'm gonna say that 2 weeks for our next meeting, yes, something would be. Okay. Let's see, on line item 5, continue discussion on and review proposed 911 deployment plan for the county of Nowata for the state of Oklahoma. That's still a work in process because we're not gonna do anything yet on that until we narrow our plan down of our options of what we have available. And that's where that's at. Any questions?
Still waiting on that other, some more information.
Okay, line item number 6. And 5 and 6 are kind of connected because that's plans. And so we're narrowing the plans down. This line item number 6. Review plans for our mission-critical partners and others, including costs for equipment, facilities, costs, communication, relays, towers, personnel, current equipment, to the name a few of the starters, and review plans that best meet the county needs. Status on option 1, 2, and 3. Now, that's a lot. So, what we have available is we have 3 options. 3 options on review is one that we set up a standalone dispatch center. The standalone dispatch center will handle calls and dispatch for the county. That facility needs to be a standalone building, place where all hardware is going to be centered at. It needs communication lines, it needs a lot of stuff, and it needs operational personnel. You're going to be manning that office with multiple workstations. So you're going to have 2 people per shift, 3 shifts you're working at, and you're looking at an IT manager, and you're looking at another manager over personnel that you have. That type of operation is in excess of $500,000. That's not including a building. So you're looking at another couple $100,000 for a building. So we talked about this last meeting, and we got a little sidetracked on it, where I says, I think I'd like to have a motion to take this option 1, standalone, off the table, so that we're not going to be considering that as a dispatch plan for Nowata County. So what I need is a motion to do that.
What do you all think before we get carried on?
Now,
You can't afford that.
you know, it's a matter
It's
of economics.
it's just not possible for Nowata County.
Because I'm going to say that it's going to run, you may be seeing a yearly expense of $200,000+ for benefits and wages for the amount of people that you're going to be working in that center. Our economics, as it stands right now, we see $6,500, maybe $7,000 a month coming in on fees that would pay for this. So this is an operation that I like to look at as a self-contained, and that telephone service is going to pay for the dispatching. I don't think the county should burden the cost unless the county commissioners say, hey, we don't mind taking on another project. That's going to be a personnel with benefits. So that I'm just looking ahead and saying that that's what I think. Because it's going to be an expensive operation. We don't have a facility yet. We've looked for a facility in the city of Nowata or surrounding areas, and nobody's going to donate a building so that we can run telephone wires to it, have cable. We need a tower that's going to send out for signals. So, that's that. But we got 3 options to look at it. I can tell you the other 2 options. The other 2 options, another building, a building that we would share technology with another dispatch center. But we would have to have equipment in that. That is not as costly. That may become under $100,000 window. Someplace in that neighborhood. And then the final option is outsource it and have it shared with, processed by Roger County. And Roger County is in discussion to, after the bugs are all worked out and what fees and what charges they're going to do and actual protocols that they will run for dispatching, because there's several that can be run. I talked with Vicki at Roger County, and it's workable. There's a lot of workable opportunities with Roger County. So,
But I've talked to 3 or 4 people. Everybody says they're interested, but, and the emergency management lady, she's checking something, but, option 1, as far as I'm concerned, I'll make a motion to drop. We can't go option 1.
that's all I want, I'll second that, because it's a matter of saying that's the most costly, and in the same breath, Terry Lance felt that was out of our league. He said that is a very expensive, that's a whole new technology, and you've got a tremendous learning curve to approach that option. Option number 2 sounds a little better, but let's vote on that first option, saying taking it off the table. Yes votes?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I wanted to get that done so that we can say, fine, we got 2 options to look at. Lori Summers had mentioned that FEMA may have some money available for a building if it's co-owned by emergency management and 911 dispatch. And in our trust authority, we have it, the dialogue is being set in there in the event it can be managed, or we can have a facility, it's doable. So you got another clause in there that if the authority decides to go with another outside jurisdiction, then that's doable. So we have doable things within the trust authority to do. The trust authority would be the owner of the 911 dispatch operation. That's the difference. Right now, we have no ownership. We work for the county commissioners, and we're doing the troubleshooting and problem solving to provide everybody with the right answers to say moving forward on this operation. But so that's where we're at. So we got 2 options now. We got to look at, and then the hardware is half the hardware price for option 2, to where we share technology with, say, and it would be with Roger. Everything's going to be connected with Roger County. And why we're looking at Roger County is because both the other counties that are surrounding us, Washington County and Craig County, are not interested in sharing technologies or helping with services. So Roger County is more in our league. Now, if nobody wanted to associate with us and we were a standalone person, then we would have to do it bootstrap and come up with a dispatch center, because the state mandate is saying we're going to have something in place by December. They want to see a plan. And with that, I've talked with RNS Digital, and he is working already. He was in South Coffeyville on Wednesday, and I gave him addresses of how the town is laid out, and he was coming over here to Nowata, or Tuesday. I gave it him Tuesday, and then Wednesday he was going to be here in Nowata to see how Nowata is laid out with their addresses. So he is moving on, and he says, as soon as I get a little further, I will give you access to one of the maps so that you can see what the map is going to look like. So he's not ready to put that online for me to look at. And once I'm looking at it, then the committee's going to look at it at the same time, because I'll make sure that everybody has access to it.
He got that information yesterday from our office.
Did he? Okay. Because he said he was going to do that. Just for my curiosity, how is Nowata laid out as far as addresses, odds, and evens? Are they go north-south addresses? Addresses go north and south and east and west. Do they change their odd and evens, or are they consistent odd and even?
They change.
Your evens are on the right and your on are on the left. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but when you cross Cherokee,
Yes.
it swaps.
It
Yes.
swaps. Okay. That's not supposed to have happened.
And I think when you cross Maple going east-west.
That's what he
That's
told me. He
right.
says, and if that's the case, because he says, I think that's what I heard and what I see
Yeah,
online. And see, it should be uniform.
it should be, but
Didn't happen. So what's going to happen for Nowata City? They're going to go in through an address change. Or, I don't know how the city, how they want to address it.
yeah, won't be the first time. We've done it before.
Okay, because he's come across that in his doing locations. In South Coffeyville, we are consistent. So I think we are covered right. But anyway, he said, the way I'm looking at it is just the way you described it, because when they go past another street, then it flip-flops around. But anyway, I said, you got your work cut out for you. He helped with, that's his job to get it addressed. Also, I'm going to work it so that he can write the letters.
Yeah.
Since RNS is working on this, he's having a 4-month timeline to pull this package together, and I feel that by September, October, we should have a plan, an acceptable plan, that be drawn up and submitted to Oklahoma, and have something to go with. Because of what Oklahoma is asking, we don't have to have it implemented, we just have to have a plan by December. But I feel that if we move on in the right direction, dot our T's, dot our I's, and cross our T's, we can have it in place and have a backup option that if, I think the heart is to have a dispatch or a shared dispatch in Nowata County that would communicate with Rogers. Then they would get direction and understanding and learn how the system works. And 20 years down the road, Nowata might be in a position where they have their own dispatch center and dispatch for the county. But it would be owned by the county as opposed to the city. City of Bartlesville owns their dispatch center, and they dispatch for the county. So, and Oklahoma doesn't have no rules on this subject as how, who, or what entity does what. And they have no rules on addressing. So communities can address however they want to address, which then makes it difficult sometimes, not organized. Right, I did all the talking and getting tired.
Anybody out there have any comments? My goal is that we try to keep it here, but if, like I said the last time, I'm tired of saying, if somebody don't step up and help. I mean, I've talked twice to the city and I haven't got no reply. You got another acre or lot out there for sale next to you? Maybe we can move out that way.
What's wrong with the building that's attached to the fire department and EMS?
Well, I checked into that and was really serious about it till I went out there after the rain and it floods.
Oh,
And then I even checked some more on the Gilded Museum, and it would cost more than it's worth.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing that Merchant Management's brought up is better than anything, because I called Forestry Department, which almost all us fire departments volunteer to go through. They've got some of them connexes like she's talking about. And And I've talked to a couple of fire chiefs that's got, like, work for the county in another county. They've got semis we can haul. We can probably get a Connex, double stack and do it, but we gotta find property. But, you know, I know it comes out on the TV and people's talk to me about what they've seen. But, we're trying. We're just not getting a lot of support.
How much property? I
We
mean,
just need a lot or something, put a building on big enough. The
Property is
the
not
two criteria is to be big enough,
100 foot by 100 foot.
yeah,
You know,
for
that's
parking area,
Parking area and a building and a tower.
yeah, the tower. And
It's
the
gonna be a
number
tower.
one criteria, the tower is safe enough that if it's wind got it, it ain't gonna go on
It's gotta
somebody
be-
else's
It's
house.
gotta be a big tower, solid tower that you're looking, it's gonna be equivalent to a microwave tower that they put up. It's not gonna be a tower that you have an antenna pole. It's gonna be-
well, the tax sells Monday, so we'll see what the county ends up with
Yeah.
after
The
Monday.
county
We
needs
could
a lot of
surplus
money.
some property.
Do what?
We could surplus some property.
There's property, you know, that can happen,
If it's
you
in the
know,
right area.
but
Yeah,
then see,
that's- yeah.
to me, this all, you know, it's planning.
There's people
There's a
that,
lot of planning that goes with this.
that I've talked to that, you know, if we come up with an area, you know, and start, they're willing to work and plumb and electric or whatever. And like we went through with what we got from Oklahoma City, some of that was based on different deals. I've contacted 2 different communication outfits, and one of them I dealt with Uncle Sam years ago. We can cut some of that in the same amount of equipment. You know, there is like Davis and Kansas compared to what they spend here. There's $5,000 difference in just one company to the other for the same equipment. I don't understand it, but that's their budget, not mine. And I'm supposed to be meeting with the sheriff and their dispatch people next week and sit down and talk to them what they see that needs to happen to operate and what they, you know, feel them out on how many it takes. Now, I've already talked, I worked in Rogers County years ago when I was down there. I know what that is. And I was there when they set up their new 911 system. But like he said earlier, you're still looking, the max 7 people, or minimum.
Do we know what Grand Lake Mental Health's gonna do when they move to their new building that used to be the old Dollar General? Does the new, will they stay there? Will some of it stay there, or, I mean, that's pretty close to the courthouse, and
Well,
I don't know about that tower.
I'd be speaking out of turn, you know, saying this is for a fact, but my understanding was they were gonna occupy both buildings. But I don't know that.
We just keep going. We're gaining every day anyway.
One step forward, 2 steps back.
Who owns the old FSA building?
So,
FSA,
They own it.
or, I'll have to say,